been playing some very exotic scales there, but actually I wasn't. I was just playing the blues scale. Now, you know, when you start, most of us just play the minor blues scale over all of the changes, but there are some really cool things you can do with the blues scale, which I'm going to show you today. Some things hopefully you have never come across before. Now we're in the key of E, and we're going to work with 3 shapes: position 1, position 2, and position 5 of the minor pentatonic scale, E minor pentatonic. And we're going to start with this. Whoa. Yes, chromatics. I'm going to show you how you can add some chromatic lines using the blues scale. So I know you guys know the blues scale, but here it is if you're playing E minor pentatonic in shape 1. You've really got this note here. If you find the B note, which is on the 14th fret, you go back 1, that's the B flat. Okay, that's the blues note. So you're really adding that to the minor pentatonic scale, and you're thinking of these 3 notes really. This is how I think about it. The B flat. So those 3 notes. Now within this shape, you can put that in 2 different places. You've got those 3 notes here, A, B flat and B, and here, A, B flat and B. This is quite interesting because the shape is a bit weird there, isn't it? I'll come back to that in a minute. So if I play the whole thing, okay, that's great and everything, but think of this, these 3 notes, B, okay, and then you've got it here. What we're going to do is extend it into the 3 shapes. So let's look at shape 2, which starts on the 2nd note. Now, if we can find the B note in this shape, here it is on the 16th fret. All right, we can add that to our scale. Now, we finish here on the A note in this position 2, but this is the A note. Can you see that's kind of the end of that B, B flat, A? So we could extend that up. There's B, B flat, A. There it is here, B, B flat, A. Here it is here, B, B flat, A. Okay, great. So what I did in that example there is I played this. So what I was doing there was, I was just descending. So I'm going B, B flat, A, then into the pentatonic scale, these notes, G, E, D. Now this takes me to here, back to the B again, and I can repeat the same thing. G, E, D. So far. Strangely enough, that takes us back to the B here. And I'm finishing on an E note there. I went into shape 5 there. Did you see that? So all together, that sounds like this. We'll finish on another E on the top there. Now, to make that even more bluesy, you can add one more thing, and that is bending that G note in the minor pentatonic scale. If you play E minor, if you can see that, E minor, that has a G note in it. E7 has the G sharp in it, so you can bend that G to a G sharp. Then you have so you can have that little bluesy run there. So that sounds really great if you can do that. So this is how you can start to add chromatics with the blues scale. It's nothing clever, you're just repeating the same thing 3 different times. Okay, so what I was doing in this little example was I was mixing the major blues scale and the minor blues scale. Yes, there is a major blues scale and it's pretty easy. It's exactly the same as the first one we did. But just move it back 3 frets to the 9th fret. And play it there on the 9th fret, exactly the same thing. Apart from, it's the same shape, but the notes, those 3 kind of bluesy notes are different. So instead of having B, B flat, A, now we have G sharp, G, and F sharp. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm overlaying those 3 notes from the G sharp, which you may remember is the 3rd of the E7 chord. So if you can visualize that 3rd, that G sharp, I'm just going down 3 notes from there. So that enables you to do something like this. So think of the minor blues scale. Okay, now we finish on the A note, right? But there's the G sharp going down 3 notes there. So you're kind of overlaying that major blues scale in the minor. So you could get a line like, now that's a bit awkward playing there maybe, so you could go into this shape 5. And what I did there was, instead of playing the B, B flat A there, I went, so I went down here, the minor blues scale, this is the B. Then I find that G sharp, go down 3 from there. Then the resolution is the E, so you can get these kind of long runs. Then you could carry on going down the scale if you wanted to. Finish on the E. So the idea, of course, with all these things is you're trying to make it sound like blues. So you can put these little things in every now and then. So if you're playing a blues lick, you can still play your kind of blues runs, but add those chromatics in when you feel it's needed, you know? I know what you're thinking, but hang on a minute. There's some chord changes here. You've got the A and you've got the B, and you're just teaching us the blues scale. We learnt this years ago with Marty Schwartz. Yes, but I'm going to play you a little example here. See if you can work out what I'm doing. So 2, 3, 4. Now, what I was doing there was a bit of improv, but what I was doing was every time there's a chord change, then I'm playing the blues scale for that chord. So for example, to keep things simple, over E, I'm playing the E minor blues scale. I could also play the E major blues scale as well over the E. That's a possibility. Now when the chord change goes to the A, I'm now thinking the A blues scale. But I'm kind of thinking of it in this area, and that's what you've got to learn. That's your step that you've got to take. So if you think of that, what would that be? That would be those 3 notes going to E, E flat, D. So I've played them, say, here, E, E flat, D. That's the A. So That's pretty good. Let's do the last one, the B, and then we'll have a little example. So the B blues scale. Those kind of 3 notes here. F sharp, F and E. So where would they be? F sharp. There, that's good. And you could also play them. So can you see I'm overlaying everything into that kind of shape 1 to make it easier? So obviously with all these 3, you could play E major and E minor over the E chord, A major, A minor over the A, and B major, B minor over the B. So that gives you tons of options. So in that little example I was kind of playing there, if I start in E, so. Now let's say I want to go to A now. I'm thinking, okay, what's these 3 notes in A? You can go back to the easy shape. So E, E flat D. So here it is here. So I'm in A there, and when you're looking for the B there, what's that note? F sharp there. So the E. When I say E, that's for the A chord, that E note, you know, it's the 5th. So if you do that little turnaround, so let's go from the B. Here's the F sharp. Now I'm going to the A chord, so I'm thinking of the 5th of A as an E. Back to the E blues scale. You can hear the changes nicely there, and I'm not thinking really of playing over the changes, so to speak, but I am thinking of the blues scale. So you can get some really good ideas with that. And this is going to take you a long time, you know, like a year or maybe your whole life really to implement this properly. But remember what I say, try and incorporate all these ideas to blues licks you might already know, and then just incorporate them in. Here's the A. Back to E. Here's the B. A. Back to the E. There we go. So have a go with that. Let me know how you get on. Nice to see you. And remember to check out my course, Mixing Major and Minor Pentatonic in the Blues. It's available down below. I'll put the link below, and see you in the next video.